Habade, and welcome to the Win, Make, Give podcast. Chad Hyams here. Bob Stewart wondering what language I just taught him to say hello in. Do you dare take a guess, Bob Stewart?
Say it again.
Habade.
Habade. Swahili.
Okay. Very good, Bob Stewart.
Shut up.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
Are you serious?
I'm absolutely 100% serious. I went for Swahili today, and Bob Stewart guessed it, folks.
I don't know. That's the only language that's like not kind of one of the ones you could maybe take at school or something that I know of. So
there you go. Congratulations, Bob Stewart. That should put you in a good mood.
You know me well enough to know that being right is, yeah.
I do know that. Yet I also know, Bob Stewart, that every time our podcast episodes are for us.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
These are conversations for you and I to have, to grow. And if somebody wants to listen in, boy, we sure hope that they get the same lessons we do or find other lessons and that we can entertain them a little along the way. And you, the other day when I was connecting with you, you were in a bad mood.
I was in a bad mood.
And I put the pressure on you and said, Bob Stewart, you're responsible for the topic, which probably only put you in a worse mood at the time. And what did you do, Bob Stewart?
Well, I tried to figure out some things that I should probably be doing when I get myself in one of those bad moods.
Okay, so folks, how many of you, raise your hand, have ever been in a bad mood, right? Everybody's hand is
how many of you today were in one at some point along the way?
In the last 24 hours, we're probably still going to get almost everybody's hand to go up. Bob, what are some of the things that trigger you to put you into a bad mood that you just know, these are things that when they happen, they trigger a bad mood for me automatically?
Oh, man. Put me on the spot. Traffic is like my number one thing. I've basically crafted my life to never have to experience it except on rare occasions. Like yesterday was one of those rare occasions that just drives me nuts.
Right. So you work from home, or that the days you have to go into the office that you're going at a time that you should be against traffic.
Yeah. Like I take my boys to their practice and I know all the back roads to go. So I literally don't have to sit on the freeway. I've crafted my whole life to avoid traffic. Okay. But I also live in Seattle. So then what they'll do is all of a sudden they'll do construction in this one area. And I'm like, oh, that's the area I go through once a week to go to my thing. And now it's 40 extra minutes through that one area. Yeah, that drives me nuts.
Okay. Calling Comcast drives me nuts.
Oh, right? Bad mood.
And as soon as I call any company that I get the computer on the other end that I know I'm going to be yelling operator for 20 minutes before I get a person, that automatically triggers a bad mood for me.
Here, I'll give you another one. Somebody, let's see. How do I want to phrase this carefully?
It's a real situation then, folks.
I get in a bad mood when somebody asks for advice and then doesn't do anything with it.
Yes.
And then they're back again a month later, asking for advice. And you're like, why are you asking me for advice again? I gave you advice last month and you didn't take it. How about this? How about I give you the same piece of advice I gave you last month? Do that. And then we can, so I don't know.
People being late puts me in a bad mood.
Oh.
It was one of my biggest pet peeves working personally with Mr. Kinney there. As I was often awaiting, as you will remember, that'll put me in a mood. I just did an interview recently for the podcast and they were late and I had to do everything possible, Bob, to get out of that bad mood, to not just make it a crappy interview and then just not even turn it in and submit it as an episode.
Can I listen? You're and I don't know when your daughter was younger if you coached any sports with her, but so I coach my kids, right? When I was little, if you came late to practice, and I particularly remember my football practices because we had this massive field that we practiced on, and if you were late, right when you got there, it was a lap around the field, and this thing was a mile. It was this massive field. It was a mile around the field. And I would be late all the time because my mom was a single mom. She worked, right? She'd run home from work. And if there was traffic or whatever, right? Now we're late. And I didn't have any control over it, but Chad, I was running. These days, I practice, right? Friday night, we practice at 6 o'clock or whatever. Kids show up at 6:05, 6:10, 6:50, all of them. Like when practice starts at 6, there's like one kid, my kid's there because I'm anal about being early, and there's maybe one other kid, and then they just stroll in.
Bob, it's been a while since I coached kids sports. I never coached for my daughter. She never played in organized sports. Yet when I was younger, friends and I, we would coach we made them run. We made them run laps, right? We were still at that stage where it was, the kids didn't just sit over there and cry about it. Late is a thing that puts me in a bad mood. Bob, you went a step farther with this episode and you said, hey, here are things that I'm in a bad mood. Give me some ways to get out of a bad mood. And that's what you generated for us, was a list of some ways to get ourselves, this wasn't just you specific, this applies to all of us, to get us out of a bad mood and help us reframe ourselves.
But like quick, Chad,
Right.
like quick, right? And the reason for me this is important because I'll spiral. Like that traffic, and then I get out of the car and now I'm like, oh, the kids are late to practice. And it just, I can spiral.
Bob,
so
I'm glad you bring that up, because the thing I always, when people that I have the pleasure of coaching or even just knowing, when I see them start spiraling, I have to remind people, look, when you're in a hole, step one is stop digging the hole deeper. Right? Most people, they'll just be annoyed and they keep digging, going, now I can't get out of this hole. And they're just going deeper and deeper and deeper into it, which just makes it harder and harder to climb out of. Step one is stop the spiral, stop that when it comes to it. I'll give everybody my 2-minute drill exercise later in this episode. Yet, Bob, we want a quick fix, because maybe you're getting out of that car and you're going into an important meeting. Maybe you're coming home from work, you're in a bad mood from a coworker. You don't want to bring it into the house with your partner or your kids or something along those lines. So you generated for us a quick list of ways to quickly get out of a bad mood. Where do you want to start?
Well, let's do it. It's kind of broken up into like 3 buckets, let's call them. So the first bucket is things designed to kind of break the emotional loop and or spiral. Let's call it a spiral, right?
Interrupt, right? Yep.
Yeah. So this is kind of interrupting the quick pattern interruption behavior. So first one is change your physiology, Chad. Like, and it could be, I'm on, like, you and I are sitting here right now. I could stand up, right? I could walk around. I could do some jumping jacks. I could do some push-ups. It just gets the blood flowing and allows my brain to have enough blood to make some of these subsequent decisions that I'm going to make. But it's changing my physiology.
That is a really good one, and a really easy one, Bob, right? I mean, yeah, maybe you don't want to you're not going to do enough that you get sweaty, but it doesn't mean you couldn't just drop and give yourself 5 push-ups if that's something, or go climb the stairs in the office building, or as you said, stand up and just walk from end to end in your office space or something to move yourself around. I think that's a great one. I think that's a really good quick fix, because it just takes you literally out of where you are and puts you somewhere else, which is what I would add to it, which is literally change your physical environment. I work at home, and I don't have an office to ever go to, so I'm not going in and engaging with people and stuff. If I'm in a bad mood when I'm at work, I will go work in another room in the house if Nita's not around, or I can get rid of her, or I will step outside so I can actually, because on a work day, I'll go all day and I won't truly feel the outdoors. I'll go step outside just to physically, literally change my environment, because it'll change my mood.
I do the same thing. I like work from my basement, Chad, and I mean, I have a window here, and I can undo it and get it a little brighter in here. But just like walking out into my little patio area and smelling the fresh air, and sometimes there's sun, although normally there's rain. But just getting out of the space I was sitting in, where I got a little bit heated, right? Just
absolutely
leave the room, change your scenery.
Okay. Anything else that you're putting in kind of your pattern your spiral interrupt, as you said?
Some kind of breathing. And
Okay.
honestly, it could be, box breathing, which is like a 4-4-4-4, right?
Yep.
Breathe for 4 seconds, hold
Hold
for
for
four
4.
seconds,
Yep.
exhale for 4, hold for
Yep.
4, breathe, right? It could be the 7-Eleven breathing technique. I
Well,
think
you're going back to season 1 there, I think.
I am, because I still use that one and I like that one. But
So
it
explain it for people who don't remember. What was the 7-Eleven
so from
breathing,
a
Bob?
physiology 7-Eleven is 7 seconds in breathing and then 11 seconds of a slower exhale.
Okay.
But if you did this for just like 2 minutes, right? There's some physiology, Chad, that it signals to your brain that you're safe. Like whatever was changing your mood or making you upset, right? That thing, like the signal to your brain that you're safe is your ability to control your breathing.
Bob, can I don't know about you and I don't know about all of our audience. I'm one of those people that many people dislike. There's more to it, folks. Don't just celebrate. Yeah, you're
I
right. Just go
was
check.
gonna say, well, finally you're admitting it. Good, good. No,
Because I'm one of those people that when I put my head on the pillow, it takes me maybe 90 seconds
oh yeah,
and I'm asleep. I'm that guy. And it's not because I work myself to a point of exhaustion. It's because when I lay down, I either box breathe purposefully, or I just do a 2 count and I do 1 as I'm taking the air in, 2 as I'm exhaling the air, 1. I don't
wait,
keep
is
going
that
like 3 and 4 because I'm not thinking. And Bob, it turns my brain off because it can only focus on the breathing, and I'm out in 90
is
seconds.
that have we talked about this before? Is that some kind of a like Navy SEAL
The
tactic or
box
something?
breathing
Or
is a Navy SEAL tactic that they teach for them to stay calm in stressful situations, which basically is every situation that they're truly in. Right.
got it, got it.
So
All right, so that's the first bucket. It's just like we're trying to shake things up, a quick interruption to the pattern that we're inside of as we're experiencing this bad mood,
and
right?
there are others, folks, right? Go splash water on your face. Go take a quick, not alcoholic preferably, but go take a quick cold drink of water or something and just completely mess with your body. Bob's telling you this is going to interrupt that spiral pattern that you're on by doing something different.
All right. I like this next one because I generally spend most of my time up inside of my head somewhere, Chad, right? So
Okay,
these
so
are like
bucket 2.
bucket two. These are ways to kind of shift your mindset.
Okay.
Quick, like on the spot, as I'm getting irritated or upset or frustrated or angry, right?
Okay.
Um, I name it to tame it. Like
Ooh, Bob,
like
that's even
literally
fancy and catchy. Tell me more.
literally out loud, like express that feeling, say that feeling out loud, Chad, so that
Yep.
you can acknowledge that it's happening, right? You have some awareness of what it is, but naming it helps you, be able to just kind of rein it in a little bit, right?
Mm.
I'm feeling super frustrated because this traffic is twice as bad as it was last week, and it's putting me behind schedule, right? Like just saying it is a release in your body.
I think that's great, right, Bob? That's a really smart one. Now, sometimes you have to name it quietly, right? Because it might
Sure.
be I'm feeling really frustrated right now because my wife is going on. Right, I shouldn't say that while she's in the middle of doing it, folks. Sometimes you remember. Here's the tip: say it a little quietly. Uh, Bob, here's another one that goes along with your mind shift change is do something that's a victory. Do something that's a win. Do something that right away, like go open your text message and just respond to someone that you haven't gotten to, or answer that email, or send out something that you've been meaning to do. Something that just gives you a quick checkbox in the win category and gives you that dopamine hit of win. Now you've changed your momentum. You've gone from going downhill to going on that uphill positive in that situation, and starting. It doesn't have to be that you've made it all the way back up. You've at least stopped digging and you're starting to go back up.
So I do this often in I will clean. Like that's my kind
Clean.
of
Okay.
clean. Yeah, I'll organize, put things in their place, right? I don't it probably, if I was to go deep inside my psyche, it's like me trying to regain control of my surroundings, right? Like I'm not yet quite ready to regain control of my feelings, but I'm like, let me put these things around me in order.
That, eh, folks, that's a small mini victory. Yeah, right. But
Yeah.
clean things up around you. Just organize your desk and then be able to go back to the first one. Step away for a second. We're not talking about Bob's getting down on his hands and knees and scrubbing every baseboard in the house. Remember, these are quick fixes. You might be able to just organize your desk in a moment or two, and boom, all of a sudden you're going to feel that weight leave because you feel you have some control. Okay. Bob, how about my
I
two?
really like this next. I do this.
What's
The
that?
very last thing in the list to me kind of ties it all together, and we'll get there in a minute. But this one would be like just quickly turn to gratitude,
Yes. Can't
right?
be angry and grateful at the same time.
A little flash of gratitude, and it's extra impactful, Chad, if I can make it about the thing that's frustrating me,
So when your
right?
wife's the one frustrating you, if you can be grateful about things about your wife, all of a sudden is what you're saying.
Yep, yep. My son is I'm getting frustrated with him because he's really bullheaded and he just wants to do what he wants to do the way he wants to do it, and I got to try to reframe that in my brain as this kid is going to be a really awesome leader his entire life, and this is the this is the price we pay right now for it is we got a bullheaded 7-year-old, right?
There you go. And be grateful you have a car. You can be stuck in traffic because there's a lot of people out there who don't. You're right. And Bob, you want to have a mini victory and your little gratitude flash. What if you texted out a little gratitude to some people while you were in that moment just to change your mindset to make their day even better? It's a 2-for-1 in there. I'm going to share with you the 2-minute drill, Bob, because I think this is where it goes. Uh, I shared this at the last Built How actually that we had. I had the opportunity to share it with a lot of people in the room. And I've heard back from many of them over the years, since 2 years, maybe now, since that's been. Um, if you pull out a piece of paper and you write down the word of how you want to feel. So write down the word happy if you want to be happy, or confident if you want to be confident, whatever it is. Tell your phone, set a 2-minute timer. Heck, you could do just a 1-minute timer, even if you don't have a lot of time. 30 seconds would work. And then write down things that make you feel that way, right? Just write down words, not definitions. So if you want to be happy, don't sit there and write down the definition of happy. Write down things like, sleeping in late, a gorgeous sunset, right? Time playing basketball with my kid, whatever it's going to be. You'll come out of that, whether it was 30 seconds, 1 minute, or the full 2-minute drill you do, you'll come out of it feeling the word you wrote down. So, folks, if you're going on a downward spiral and you're like, look, I need to stop this, I've acknowledged it, I need to interrupt it and change my mindset. What do you need to be? Do you need to be happy? Do you need to be grateful? Do you need to be, write it down? You can say it in your head if you want. Writing it down is going to be more powerful. I guarantee you, when the clock beeps at you to stop, you'll be feeling a whole lot better about yourself, and it won't take a lot of time.
That's a good one. All right, so we've gone through buckets 1 and 2. Bucket 1 was quick pattern interruptions. Bucket 2 was changing or reframing my mindset. And
What's
then
number 3, Bob? What's your
so
third bucket?
it would be like recalibrate my senses, right?
Okay.
And it could be maybe it's music, Chad.
Okay.
Maybe it's some calming music because I'm amped up and I'm frustrated by the traffic, and I probably shouldn't be driving in traffic listening to Metallica, right? When I'm already amped up and irritated by the lady in front of me, right?
This is why I do not go in the Hot Topic store when I would walk into the mall, because they always play the angst music. And no matter what mood I walked in, I walked out angry because of the music they were always playing. It's amazing what that influence will have upon us, Bob.
Man, like, I don't know about you, but me, man, throw on like some Top Gun music from the 80s. It takes me into like just a very relaxed place, right?
Yeah, and
Nostalgic music.
it doesn't have to be, you said relaxed music. It doesn't necessarily mean, oh, I got to go put on smooth jazz and listen to Kenny G or something like that.
Right.
That might work for some people and have its place. Yet you're just saying, have some of those songs that are going to take you back to a happy memory, going to take you back to a fun time, whatever it is, that you can just tell your phone,
I've got a
Highway
couple of
to Danger Zone,
particular
let's go.
I have a couple of particular songs that can almost put I mean, they can, like, they will just put me right back into being 23, no worries, carefree, driving in my new car, right? Like they could just put me there immediately, and I can feel that sensation in my body of like almost transporting myself back to that time when I purposely go and tune that song up.
All right, Bob, put you on the spot. Give us one of those songs.
Picture Me Rolling from Tupac. Every
Okay.
time, it's like that's my go-to if I'm stressed out and I'm feeling like the weight of the world. That song, just for whatever reason, because it takes me back to a time when I had very little responsibility, or I didn't have a mortgage and kids, and it centers me for some reason.
Okay. Right. It's amazing the power that sound and that can do our other senses. Bob, same thing with smells.
Hmm.
Right. So maybe that's another way for us. What about having one of those, what are the little aromatherapy jars, right? Whatever they call that, the essential oils, right? And you just take a hit of that. And if it's a certain fragrance, it's going to trigger some sort of memory, right? I love the smell of peppermint, right? I mean, that's holiday to me. That just right. So give me a little jar of peppermint. I'll sniff that. I'm going to be in a good mood immediately.
Yeah, I mean, look, again, I want to get to the last. There's one more in here on this kind of sensory. It's just like sun, Chad.
Yeah, we
or,
already said that,
or
right? Change the environment. Just get out there.
yeah, or nature, right? Like literally
Right.
just getting out in the sun, and like get that vitamin D, get your senses alive a little bit. But
All
here,
right. So
okay,
these
so,
are some quick ways Bob has brought to us because I know he really wants to get to this last one that he's got on his list, and we want to keep it at a
I just
reasonable length episode
I
for
love
him.
this idea, and I've never really done this, but as I was I'm like, oh, I do some of these. Oh, I do that sometimes, right? I do this.
Yep.
So the last one is like literally like the protocol for what happens when I get in a bad mood. Which of these 9, or you may have 5 other ones that you do occasionally, right? Like, what do I do then? Like, how do I execute this? What is the protocol for when I'm in a bad mood? Is it, all right, stand up, stretch it out, right? A little bit of box breathing, turn on my Picture Me Rolling song, and send Chad a quick text with a joke or something. Like, what is that protocol that you do? How do you combine these things? And can what does Ben say? Ordinary, or systems make the ordinary extraordinary. This is like a
Yeah.
little system for how I would get out of being in a bad mood. The reality is, Chad, I probably do 1 or 2 of these things here or there, but I've never thought about like, oh, I'm in a bad mood right now. Let's just go down the checklist, right? And knock it out.
You need like the big red button, right? That just says, I'm in a bad mood, and you hit it, and the bad mood siren goes off, whoop, whoop, and you now
Step
know,
1,
okay,
2, 3. Yeah.
step 1, stop, breathe. Step 2, send 3 gratitude texts. Step 4, right? Or play Tupac in the background, whatever this is. Folks, build your bad mood protocol. I mean, that's brilliant, Bob. Because we all know that you're never going a week without getting in a bad mood, right? Something's going to come up. But if you had a bad mood protocol, you'd be out of that bad mood like that. And you'd be to a point where bad moods you'd be looking forward to them just to activate the protocol.
Yeah. Look, I tell my boys this sometimes. I've been somebody that did not take this advice for years of my life, right? I and I don't know. I've heard this kind of analogy, Chad, a bunch of times, but it's like I've got $100 bill, Chad, right? And I lose I lose $5 of it, right? Am I going to take the other $95 and throw them in the garbage? For years in my life, that's what I would do when I'd get in a bad mood, right? I'm like, oh, this
Right.
5 minutes of the day I'm in a bad mood. Let me just toss the other 23 hours and 55 minutes in the garbage because I can't get out of this bad mood. I'm going to ruin everything I come across for the next 23 hours, right? I needed this when I was in my 20s, and here we are. Hopefully you're in your 20s listening, and we can save you all of the headache of ruining days because you got in a bad mood for 5 minutes.
And with technology nowadays, Bob, I don't know how to do it. There's got to be a way that I could actually say to the girl in my phone, I won't say her name or she'll start doing things, right? I could actually probably say, activate bad mood protocol. And
Yeah.
I could probably teach her to turn on a certain song. I could probably have it open my text messages or something. And I could probably have it start a countdown or something to help me breathe for a minute.
Yeah, you could probably go get like an air freshener thing that's electronic in your house, and it could spray out a little, peppermint for you, Chad. Like, I don't have any question that you could make your phone like just kick the routine in, and all of a sudden you're in a totally different mindset 2 minutes later.
Now I have a project to work on. Folks, thankfully, Bob gets in enough bad moods, and I asked him about the episode at just the right time to bring you some quick hits on how to quickly get out of a bad mood, turn it around. We challenge you to go build your bad mood protocol. And here's what I'm going to ask you to do. Come into our Facebook group, Win, Make, Give, and I want you to share your bad mood protocol. What would that look like for you if you actually could hit the big red button and something started to kick in with the different steps? Because we want to know that you're taking the time to take these lessons that we need, and then we get to share with you. And until our next episode, as always, do good.